Hello dear students, now we will proceed further with the fifth chapter of secretarial practice, that is deposits. In this chapter we will learn what is meant by acceptance of deposits and which companies can accept the deposits from whom, maybe either from members, directors or from the general public. And second topic, that is terms and conditions for the acceptance of deposits. So only these two topics we are going to learn in this chapter. Remaining last two topics, that is the procedure for acceptance deposits from public and procedure for accepting deposits from members, these two topics has been omitted by the board for the session 2020 and 21. Means none of the questions will be asked on this topic. Acceptance of deposits. We know that a company can accept the deposits either from the public or from its members or from the directors, and it is one of the source of raising short-term finance, because a company can accept the deposits either for the term of 6 months or maximum 36 months only. So it is a type of short-term deposits. Now it is also one of the cheaper source of raising the funds through deposits. But now according to the current Companies Act 2013, it is a risky option for a company, because if the company makes any default in repaying the amount to the depositors, at that time the company or the officer, it may be liable for the punishment. So nowadays it has become risky to accept the deposits, because the company is accepting the deposit for the short period of time. Now all the companies accepting the deposit except a banking company or a non-banking finance company or a housing finance company and any other company as the central government will specify. Other than that, they have to comply with the provision of section 73 to 76 of the Companies Act 2013. Then secondly, Companies Rules 2014 and directives issued by the Reserve Bank of India regarding the acceptance of deposits. So other than the above companies or every other company which are accepting the deposit, they have to follow the company's provision of the Companies Act 2013. Then they have to follow the company's rule 2014 and whatever the directives which has been issued by the Reserve Bank of India for accepting the deposits. Now a company can accept the deposits either from the members or from the public. From the members, which company can accept the deposits? That is, it may be the private company. They can accept the deposits either from the members or from the directives or from the relatives of directors. Then second, that is public company other than eligible company. Now public company other than eligible company, they can also accept the deposits either from its members or directors. And third, that is eligible public company. Now eligible public company means a company having a net worth of not less than 100 crores, means whose capital is not more than 100 crores, and secondly whose turnover is not less than 5 crore, and which has obtained the prior approval of the shareholders through special resolution for accepting the deposits. That is eligible public company. So the eligible public company, it can accept the deposits either from the members or from the directors or from the general public. So these were the basic things related with the acceptance of deposits. Now the terms and conditions for the acceptance of deposits. First, that is the amount of deposit. Now according to the types of the company, they can accept the deposit. First, that is the private company. A private company can accept the deposit either from its members, directors or the relatives of the directors, but not more than 100% of the aggregate of the paid up share capital and the free reserve. So in case of the amount of deposit which has to be accepted according to the types of the companies, the main thing you have to note down is that whatever the amount the companies are going to collect, it should be the paid up share capital and the free reserve, total of the paid up share capital and the free reserve. So in case of the private company, they can accept the deposits not more than 100% of the paid up share capital and the free reserve. Secondly, public company other than eligible public company, they cannot accept the fresh deposits from the members if the amount of such deposits together with the previous deposit exceeds 25%. Means they cannot accept the deposits either from the members or the directors more than 25% of the aggregate of the share capital and the free reserve. Then third, that is eligible public company. Now eligible public company, it can accept the deposits either from the members or from the public. In case if they are accepting the deposits from the members, so at the time they cannot accept the fresh deposits if the amount of such deposits together with the previous deposits exceeds 10% of the aggregate of the paid up share capital and the free reserve. Means if the company has already accepted the deposits which exceeds more than 10% of the paid up capital and the free reserve plus the previous deposits, at that time they cannot accept the deposits from the members. And secondly, they can accept the deposits from the public. Again here the company cannot accept the fresh deposits if the amount of such deposits together with the previous deposits exceeds 25% of the aggregate of the paid up share capital and the free reserve. Then thirdly, fourthly, government company. Government company, it can accept the deposits either from the public, but it should not exceed more than 35% of the paid up capital and the free reserve. Then second, that is period and the tenure of deposits. We all know very well that the company can accept the deposits for the minimum period of 6 months and it should not be more than 36 months. Now third, no demand deposit. Now company cannot accept और रिन्यू द डिपॉजिट रिपेएबल ऑन डिमांड. जो डिमांड के तौर पे रिपेएबल रहते हैं या डिमांड के तौर पे जो डिपॉजिट्स एक्सेप्ट किए जाते हैं, इट इज नॉट वैलिड for the company. So company cannot accept or renew the deposit repayable on demand. Then fourth, that is secured or unsecured deposits. Now according to the new Companies Act 2013, a company can accept secured or unsecured deposit, but it should be clearly mentioned in the circular or the advertisement in case of accepting the deposits. And if the company is accepting the secured deposit, at that time even the company have to create the charge on the tangible assets, and it has to be mentioned in the circular. Then next, fifth, that is application form. So application form has to be provided by the company, which will contain the detail regarding the acceptance of deposits. Then next, sixth, that is the joint name. Company can also accept the deposits in joint names of the depositors, and it should not be more than 3 names. Then seventh, that is nomination. Every depositor at any time they have the right to nominate the any person as a nominee in case of the death of the depositor. Then eighth, circular or the advertisement. In case the company is accepting the deposits from the members, at that time it has to issue the circular. And if the company is inviting the deposits from the public, at that time it has to issue an advertisement. And the circular and the advertisement, it contains that the statement of the financial position of the company, it should be there. Then portion of secured and the unsecured deposits of fresh issue. Then credit rating obtained from a credit rating agencies by the company. Then details of the scheme regarding the acceptance of deposits, means for how much period the company is accepting the deposit, what should be the rate of interest. So details regarding the scheme of the acceptance of deposits. Then name of the deposit trustees. Then amount due towards the deposit of any previous deposit accepted by the company. So all these things has to be mentioned in the circular and the advertisement. Then after that the company have to file the circular or the advertisement with the register of the company. Means one of the copy has of the circular or the advertisement signed by all the directors has to be submitted to the register of the company. And after 30 days of filing a copy of circular or the advertisement with the register of the company can issue the circular or the advertisement. And if the company is issuing it to the members, then it has to be sent either by the registered post, speed post, or it can be emailed. And lastly, the validity of the circular and the advertisement, it should be of 6 months. Now next, that is ninth, appointment of deposit trustee. Nowadays it is compulsory for the company to appoint the deposit trustees in case of the issue of acceptance of deposits. So whenever the company is issuing secured deposit, so all the eligible companies and the public company have to appoint one or more of the deposit trustees. Now these deposit trustees are appointed for to protect the interest of the depositors. In case if the company makes any default either in repaying the deposit amount or in case not repaying the interest amount, then same way the company have to sign the contract with the deposit trustees, and that written contract is known as the trust deed. Now next, that is create charge on assets. So whenever the company is accepting the secured deposits from the public, so at that time within 30 days the company have to create a charge on tangible assets, and whatever the charge has been created, it should not be less than the amount of deposit accepted by the company. Now next, that is deposit insurance. Now here also it is necessary for the company to take the deposit insurance at least 30 days before the issue of circular or the advertisement. Now next, that is obtain credit rating. Again, it is necessary for the company to get the credit rating of its deposits, and it should be included the rating in the circular or the advertisement. Then next, that is open deposit repayment reserve account. Now again it is necessary for the company to open the deposit reserve account with the scheduled bank, and this amount can be utilized only for repaying the deposit to the depositors. Then next, that is deposit receipt. Then after issuing the deposit, the company have to issue the deposit receipt to the depositors within 21 days from the date of the receipt of amount. Means as soon as the company gets the amount of the deposits, so within 21 days the company have to issue the deposit receipt, and this deposit receipt has to be signed by the officer duly authorized by the board of directors, and in that all the details regarding the acceptance of deposits is given: name, address of the depositor, amount of deposit, then the rate of interest and the due date of repayable of the amount. Then next, that is register of deposit. Now again the company have to maintain the separate register for deposits accepted or renewed at its register office. So it has to be maintained within 7 days from the date of the issue of deposit receipt. Now next, that is a return of deposit. A company also have to file with the register of the company a return of deposit. The return gives the details of deposit with the company as on 31st March of that date. Then next, that is interest. The maximum rate of interest on deposit, it depends upon the guidelines given by the Reserve Bank of India. And if in case any of the depositors prematures the repayment of deposits, then at that time 1% of the interest will be deducted by the company from the rate of interest of the acceptance of deposits. And if the deposit matured and claimed but it remains unpaid by the company, at that time there will be the penalty on the company to pay the rate of interest at the rate of 18% for the overdue period. Now next, right to alter the terms and conditions. In any case, none of the company cannot either directly or indirectly alter the terms and conditions of the deposits, neither of the deposit trust deed nor of the deposit insurance contract. Then next, that is disclosure in financial statement. A company has to disclose in its financial statement by way of notes the money received from the directors or the relatives of the directors in case of the private company. Then last, that is punishment. As per the Companies Act, an officer of the company who is in default for the contravention of the provisions of the Act is punishable for fraud. So these were the terms and conditions of the deposits. So here we have completed the 5th chapter.